So, for those of you that aren't aware, drama, drama, drama. Welcome to Classic WoW. Now, Greek Warrior made a post on Twitter, and then a dev reacted. And we're going to cover the whole thing because the drama is very interesting, and it is about GDKPs, dev favoritism, and the overall discussion on communication and what's been happening. Now, with the recent Classic news coming out and Agron stepping down, Blizzard CS and Blizzard Entertainment should launch an internal inquiry regarding Agron WoW mishandling of this Classic fresh. Banning GDKP was the catalyst behind hyperinflation that financially eviscerated the average player, turning the latest fresh into a swipe simulator by isolating the majority of the community by engaging feedback based off Reddit versus people who actually play. Now, first thing I do want to address is Agron was never really the head of Classic. Agron is one of the heads, but Classic still reports to like retail and reports to other people as well. So I would assume there's 1 to 2 to 3 people above Agron who make the majority decisions. Now, in the context of this, Agron may have actually been the person who specifically pushed for GDKP to be banned. We don't really know, but that is something to keep in mind. And my man EO, thank you for the Prime for 9 months. You're an absolute legend. Welcome back, brother. What an absolute goat. Thank you so much. In regards to the GDKP, basing it off people on Reddit versus the people who actually play the game, I do want to say, like right off the rip right there, that I do think a lot of people appreciate the GDKP ban, except for the fact of how the modern player base plays the game and how the modern player base engages in the game itself. I do think the GDKP ban was a net negative. It was amazing for Season of Discovery, but an anniversary itself, I think the ban of GDKP was, in my personal opinion, this was bad. Now, I do think the overall ban of GDKP is good, but banning GDKP without addressing the botting issue is fucking stupid. Now, okay guys, y'all gotta stop calling both of them retards, because I'm not going to say that. I don't think Greek or Agrand is a retard. I know you guys are just shitting on both of them, and that's fair, but there are reasons behind both people's opinions here. And in the case of Greek, he actively plays the game 10 plus hours a day, every single day. He is a die-hard, dedicated, super sweaty player. And we're going to keep going through here, though. This was the least played fresh, with the main reason being players unable to afford consumers due to the policy introduced by Agron WoW. By banning GDKP, you essentially disabled redistribution of currency, which led to Flask being 500G. In conjunction, most raids were using Flask, Black Lotus, and PayPal in place of gold, which is a fate way worse than letting players GDKP. Now, in this context, he's absolutely correct that the economy at one point, it was like 600 gold per flask. It then dropped to 350, and now that TBC is dropping soon, it's like 50G a flask, right? And that's just simply how it's going to be because, you know, the bots, the economy, the amount of people swiping. This is so far into the life cycle of a Classic WoW experience that the people still playing are the sweatiest people who don't give a shit about the journey or grinding. They just want to raid. They want to pump. They want to pass. They want to just actually pull off all that endgame activity, so they swiped. I have never seen an economy as bad as Anniversary. If you ask anybody, Anniversary is genuinely one of the worst economies I've ever seen. Honestly, Anniversary's economy is at the very bottom of the Classic WoW experiences. I have never seen such hyperinflation. It's like we're living in fucking Venezuela or Turkey. The economy is absolutely fucking ass. A single goddamn like BOE is like 600 gold or 500 gold or 450 gold. Where back in 2020, 2021, it was like 50 gold or 75 gold or 30 gold. Back in 2021, back in 2020, back when I was raiding Nax in vanilla, in Classic, a Titan Flask was 120G. That was towards the end of the experience, because I was tanking. Nowadays, it's obscene. Now again, I don't think it's the GDKP's ban's fault that the consumes are that expensive. The GDKP being banned didn't lead to consumers being this expensive. The GDKP ban led to, effectively in this instance, people who didn't swipe but used to get their gold from GDKPs now swiping to still get their gold. On top of that, one thing I've noticed a lot in Classic WoW is 50G is like donate a flask or 100G for +1 SR, and, you know, everything being HR'd and then being sold, like my boy Jerome selling Oni Head every goddamn week, multiple times a week, or like other people selling Oni Head or selling Head of Assyrian. Heck, people are even just hard reserving items and selling them. I see people literally sell their SRs to other people in raid. I'm full bis and MC. I'll sell 2 of my SRs for 200G each. That's how you get sweaty people in MCs. You let them sell their SRs. And effectively, the state of the game has gotten very interesting because of the people still playing and how the people are playing. To further exacerbate this notion, Agronwell took time off the social media due to controversial political comments which led to him using Blue Sky as his main social media apparatus. Now, in regards to this, I think personally targeting someone's political opinion or trying to like call them out for being a Democrat or Republican or whatever is honestly fucking stupid. I think this was really dumb of Greek to really be bringing up here. Whether Agron's a Democrat or he's a Republican or whatever should not be relevant to any conversation here. And I think just even bringing, I hate when people do this shit. It's really inane. When I inquired about these behaviors, I was blocked by a majority of the classic design team, then permanently banned on a 20-plus-year-old account, which I find incredibly suspicious. Now, in regard to the ban, Greek did buy gold on stream to prove a point, showing how easy and how smooth and how fast it was to buy gold. So we saw him literally purchase the gold live on stream and then catch a ban very soon afterwards. Lastly, Showbeck TV, Soda Poppin' TV, and OTK Network all bought gold evidence on my Twitter, but none of these content creators are ever held for their actions because Agron is emotionally selective of who he punishes, and I feel like this is an incredibly bad look for a billion-dollar company. This all stems from people removing people's personal freedoms due to disagreeing, and when you remove people's right to choose, you're no better than the people you point your finger at. Thank you so much. God bless Classic Era forever. So overall, Greek is very targeted and very aggressive towards Agron, and I said this before as well, but I think it really diminishes Greek's point of view and Greek's opinion because it comes off as very aggressive and very targeted and very selective on who he's shitting on. If Greek had simply said the current state of anniversary is terrible and didn't personally name devs, because he's harped on Agron, specifically on Agron very aggressively many times. And I've said this before, but we should never be personally targeting devs no matter the game. We should never be going after people specifically and saying, fuck this dev in particular, fuck this person in particular, they're a terrible human being, you know, they should, you know, all these things. But Greek's overall opinion on GDKP has a lot of factual basis and there's a lot of truth to it. But I do think the bringing up the politics and personally targeting Agron has genuinely hurt his view and like made his opinion, which would be reasonable, come off as way more outlandish and standoffish than it otherwise should have been. And to be fair, Agron is targeted because the rest of the classic dev refuses to communicate anything. That's also valid, Airdop. That's also valid. So, that leads us on to what happens next. Tom Ellis, Foibles, posts a response to Greek saying, "Did someone hurt you?" Agron was just a producer on that team, right? With design leads and engineering leads above him. So Agron, like I said, helped design a lot of the gameplay things, design a lot of things. But you know, you have like, you know, people who are above Agron, director of classic, yada yada yada, and Agron is not that person. The GDKP ban was designed for one thing, remove the drive to buy gold to be able to buy items in raids, because in some that became the main way most players could access gear. But no one wants to farm gold to their border, which means someone needs to farm it, which means bots. And who boy does everyone whine about bots that exist solely because players won't stop buying gold, and around we go. So, I do just want to say one thing here. The way Tom Ellis, you know, Foibles here responded to Greek was unprofessional. But the amount of times Greek has uttered in this context, if I was to go to Greek's Twitter, right? Agron specifically, to shit on Agron specifically, I assume Tom Ellis and Agron are friends, and people want to stand up and defend their friends, right? They want to defend their friends and, you know, not have people shit on their friends 24/7, because Greek does shit on Agron a lot. It's a very regular thing. Now again, like I said, Greek's point of view is diminished based on exactly how much he targets one individual particularly. But Greek has validity to his point. So, and again, Tom Ellis, a dev at Blizzard, responding to a content creator like this or somebody online like this is an unprofessional look, but I understand why. This statement right here, in my opinion, and who boy does everyone whine about bots that exist solely because players won't stop buying gold. I need to be real here. This is Blizzard's fault. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Blizzard should permaban anybody that buys gold remotely. Heck, if I was traded, bought gold, fuck it, permaban me too. Ban everybody. If people just got permabanned, just permaban every single person. Ban their 20-year-old account for buying gold. If you can't stop the sellers, fair enough, you admitted defeat. But of course the players are gonna buy gold when the only punishment is a 2-week ban. There's no real punishment or consequence to buying gold. There's no real punishment to like buying gold at all. So of course people are gonna buy. A 2-week vacation from raiding? Whoops, sorry there, chief. Sorry there, raid lead and GM. I can't come to raid for 2 weeks because I got banned for 2 weeks. Oh, I got mass reported on AV because I was AFK. Sure, buddy. You got 2-week ban because you bought gold. So I don't like this statement. He's not wrong. The player base is buying gold in mass. So many people are buying gold. I 100% get it. He's not wrong there. But the way he communicated that was very shitty. Like, let's be real here. Was it entirely successful? I have no idea. But you appear to have been banned for buying gold, so it kind of failed that badly. The only reason Greek got banned was because he literally bought the gold live on stream. If Greek hadn't bought the gold live on stream, if he had bought it in like every other player buys gold, open a separate browser VPN, and then literally say, hey, I'm listing this item in the auction house for 5,000 gold, buy this, he wouldn't have gotten banned. Greek only got perma-banned because it was so outright. And okay, so that drama brings me to the next thing, right? The next response by Greek, right here. He responds to Tom Ellis going, it's so obvious you didn't play this fresh. The GDKP banned the opposite. Players were using Black Lotus and Flask in place of gold. GDKP with extra steps. Flask during phase 1, 500 gold. Flask and White Man with GDKP is allowed with 6 years of inflation equals 225 gold. The only thing personally hurts me is Blizzard CS not having this attitude towards other streamers who break TOS. Only me because I highlighted your interpersonal failures on a public platform. Otherwise you wouldn't be here replying to me. Best part is I know you guys open my stream. You should really consider redirecting that energy into your product versus random people offending you because they don't understand how basic economics work. The only thing I'm guilty of is highlighting your failures, and it appears to have worked. And again, being realistic, Greek, my brother, you, like most classic WoW people who do 10 hours of classic WoW, hella autistic, right? Very autistic fixation on GDKP, but this is the only game he seems to play. And I don't blame the man. I play like 3 to 4 hours of classic WoW every single day. But at the end of the day, Greek's entire point is invalidated by his personal attacks and how he communicates the stuff. Chernobyl, thank you for the sub. I appreciate that. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Is that a tier 1? What is that? I didn't even tell me. It just said that somebody subbed today. I don't know what you subbed with. What is that? Anyways, regardless, thank you. Overall, this entire drama is, in my personal opinion, just borderline fucking retarded, because some more communication would just solve everything. Could we just get the data behind GDKP ban? Could Blizzard just come out and say, with the ban of GDKP, this and this and this, and show some information, whether they were right or wrong? I'm not saying they have to be picture perfect, but is it really like asking too much to get some information? Is it really asking too much to figure out exactly what's happening and what's like the whole point of everything? Because like I genuinely truly want to know what actually the information is. Like, if we could get any information, none of this drama would happen. Greek wouldn't be out here atting the classic devs every couple of days. the classic devs would still be communicating to us on Twitter and still giving us messages and still telling us things, because as of right now, the classic devs don't ever say anything, right? The classic devs, for the most part, are completely silent. Their heads down, working on the next project, which is Classic Plus or whatever the fuck. But at the end of the day, the drama is effectively pointless, because the only reason we have drama is because nobody's allowed to communicate. The radio silence is deafening, and it honestly pisses me off. Like the fact that we didn't even get any announcement about TBC until 1 week before TBC pre-patch was about to drop. The fact that, it took everybody literally collectively melting down for Agrant to come out and give us a big blue post explaining why he's been silent, which, again, I really appreciate it. Agrant's the GOAT. Thank you for giving us an update. I'm really excited about the future project, because I like most of the stuff that Agrant has created, not counting, for example, incursions. There are several things in SOD that are terrible, but I really personally enjoyed SOD. But now we're going to read the last part of the drama, right? Let's just go through the drama. Last night, I voiced my concerns regarding Blizzard's CS mishandling of this fresh, and I was met with a very unprofessional reply. Blizzard employees would rather exert energy replying during work hours to random small streamers versus actually addressing the issues plaguing the game. Blizzard is very selective of who they punish, and this selectiveness has led to extreme hypocrisy. What makes it worse is Foibles WoW didn't exert the same energy against Soda Poppin and Showback TV and many more streamers who bought tens of thousands of dollars worth of gold this fresh in conjunction with hosting Black Lotus / Flask Raid. And of course, he then drops the Showback image of Showback, I guess, buying gold with real life money, thousands of dollars, like 1,500 or whatever. And then, he then posted an auction of somebody buying Gauntlets of Annihilation at the beginning of Phase 1 of Gauntlets of Annihilation is from AQ. So this was like, 4 months ago, for 5,000 USD. And the person that bought it, I guess, is at Hard. Honestly, if you spend 5,000 gold on Gauntlets of Annihilation, you're a fucking retard. No offense. It doesn't matter how rich and wealthy you are. You could be a multi-millionaire with $100 million in crypto, and you buying the Gauntlets of Annihilation is such a bitch-ass fucking move. Like, no offense. No offense. I'ma stand on that. But I do agree that anyone that buys gold should be banned. If I buy gold, permaban me. If Soda does it, permaban him. Permaban everybody. So overall, yes, hypocritical to only ban Greek, but Greek was the only one to buy the gold openly, whereas Soda Poppin got gifted 30,000 gold in the mail, and Showbeck never showed anything, and DMs can be faked and yada yada yada. So even if this is a real screenshot, it probably is, right? A lot of content creators have tens of thousands of gold all the time. I've been gifted 8,000 gold and I only have 200 average viewers. I'm not even a big streamer, guys. I'm a mid-level streamer and I've been gifted to 8,000 gold. You think my chat went and farmed 8,000 gold and gave it to me? Somebody probably bought some gold and gave it to me. 5 minutes of, being on stream. Hey, I gave Eben 2,000 gold. Look how happy and excited he is. So you can't ever prove a content creator bought gold, right? Hypothetically speaking, I could have literally bought the gold, sent it to one of my viewers, and then one of my viewers traded it to me, and ooh, we got a nice cool clip and yada yada. Now it's like unlaundered, right? It's laundered now. Technically speaking, there's so many ways around this. I think for a while their content creators were literally dueling people. They were dueling the gold sellers, and then they would bid 10,000 gold and they would lose. And then they would win and then they get 10,000 gold. So they got 10k gold from a viewer. So the issue is, it's very hard to prove somebody ever bought gold, and if you ever do prove it, permaban them. But I just think every gold buyer should be permaban. Why are you receiving 5,000 gold in the mail from some guy called XB172? That's clearly a gold seller. You're clearly a gold buyer. But at the end of the day, the whole situation, the whole drama, everything here is fucking stupid. If Blizzard communicated, if we actually had back-end data information available to us, if we actually had a server with GDKP versus a server with no GDKP and then compared the economy, if we actually could solve the botting issue, if the player base stopped buying gold, I guess. There are so many what-ifs here for the whole point, but at the end of the day, Blizzard devs are responsible for banning bots and banning gold buyers. And Greeks tweeting, mildly autistic. Foibles reply, very unprofessional. Welcome to Classic WoW in 2026. We just started the year and it's already fucking bullshit.